Well, hello guys, welcome back and welcome to your new visual enhancement progress, part of the CQI project here at EEDC. My name is Tyler and today I didn't cover this up. Yeah, I'm more intrigued on what's going on with my setup here and focused on that, and I forgot to cover the knife up. So today we have a review for you, a review of the Gerber Flatiron. Okay, guys, so the Gerber Flatiron. Let's get started here. Sorry if I kind of bumped the setup around. I'm trying to work. It's a little bit more confined, but I can see it's already like it looks better. I got better lighting and it kind of encapsulates it. And I really do like the background a little bit more despite it being like a $4 background. I got like this I don't know, it was like a 3x8 roll-up sheet of like workout mat from Walmart for like $3. I'm like, that would actually work for a cool background for a while. So this is the Gerber Flatiron. The Gerber Flatiron, this particular model is sporting what they call, it's like a jade green or something of that nature, but it's aluminum scales that are slightly textured. Feels actually pretty good. On this side, we have a stainless steel lock, frame lock side with a over travel stop here, kind of like a lock bar stabilizer, if you will. A pocket clip that is not deep carry and it is not ambidextrous. So, you know, it's going to be right hand only. Sorry, guys. And it's only tip up only. So let's just only tip up only multiple times to reiterate that it is only tip up only. Give me a break. Haven't done a review in a little bit. All right. So here we have a T8, T6, T6, T6. And on this side, T6, 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 T6. So you're rocking out a lot of T6 screws going on here. That's quite all right. And actually, just to make myself not a liar, let me take a look at something real quick. I'm not sure. That's a T10. Let me see if I got something set up that I can check this real easy real quick. So this is a T6. I lied. All right. So the frame screws are T6. The handle screws apparently are T8. So it's T8, 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 T8. Let's see here. And I apologize if my hands are a little bit more fugly than usual. In the making of this apparatus that holds my light, I used a lot of super glue. So this is a T8 and it doesn't fit. Odd. But the T6 was too small. Maybe I was wrong about the T6, or right initially. Yeah, maybe they're T6. They just fit slightly loose. So be careful with those. You might strip those out when you're taking those off. Now, this comes in several different models. This does have a G10. They have a micarta. I believe I saw a D2 somewhere, and I'm not sure what that sports. But this one in particular is coming in the aluminum scales. Originally, I kind of thought it was the brass, the Flitanium. And the owner didn't think it was, but he bought it on the secondary market. And, well, the owner being Steve, so thank you, Steve, for lending this into the channel for review. But going over it, I'm fairly certain this is like the jade green or sage green. That's what it's called, sage green. And I only actually saw the sage green available at Walmart, which is interesting. But it's a really cool texture on here, and I don't know if you guys can see it all that well. I mean, the texture's so slight. There you go. You can kind of see it. It is lightly textured, so that's nice. Sorry for that weird intermission. I opened it on camera and realized I didn't clean off the blade before opening it. So I had to take it off, clean off the blade, give you guys a look. So this is a nice stonewash finish with a hollow grind coming down to this cleaver blade. As you can see, it's a very accentuated cleaver. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This thing is a cleaver and a half. Here we go, right in here, and you can see some of the stuff that I didn't get off before I was cleaning. Nice hollow grind going on here. And then we have this opening hole right here that allows for super easy access, and thank God, because it's the only way you can access this. And you can do the thumb flick on it too, to get this guy open. But it works just fine. I mean, Gerber hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, that's the right term. Hit the nail on the head there as far as getting this set up right there. Now, ergonomically, in hand, this position actually feels really good. It's not anything that you're going to write home about, but I don't have any complaints. Therefore, that's a good thing, right? When I choke up, Now, I don't have any complaints about this, but this is the first choke up position on a knife that I like something feels off and it's hard to tell you guys what it is. This doesn't feel like a knife I want to choke up on. I feel like this is the position I want to be in. Therefore, I love finger choils, but therefore I would rather have a little bit more blade length here. It seems like it's supposed to be there, right? And this finger choil right here just feels kind of weird. I don't know that I would use this. I would definitely use it in this position. We have a really thick blade stock with nothing knocked down, but it doesn't shave anything off going on here because it is a nice stone wash. That stone wash took down the edges very nicely. The stainless steel frame lock here is also stone washed with everything kind of matching. So the matching factor here is really nice. We have some barrel spacers going on back here, all through here. And we also have a stop pin right there. This is writing on phosphor bronze, and I'm going to call it Teflon just because that's the way it feels. It doesn't feel like I'm writing on phosphor bronze. It does feel like I'm writing on Teflon, but I can see the phosphor bronze there. So it's definitely not bearings, and I can just feel it's smooth. I don't feel that like sliding feeling that you would feel from phosphor bronze. It feels very smooth, so it feels like Teflon. So if I had to guess, there's two Teflons inside, butted up against the blade, and then you have the phosphor bronze on the outside. I haven't taken this apart, and I should have, because I'm going to take this apart, sharpen it up, and give it back to Steve before he gets it. So I should have done that before the review, but I didn't. So let's get you guys some specs on the Gerber Flatiron, and then we'll go into some size comparisons, and then we will recap and wrap it up, tell you my likes, dislikes, and all that. I will tell you straight out the gate, this is a massive, massive boy. This guy's going to weigh a lot. Yeah, the weight coming in at 5.65 ounces, so it's not going to be a slouch. Now, it's not going to be something that you're like, oh, crap, I can't carry that. It's too freaking big. But it is big enough to where you're going to be like, yeah, I can feel it, right? Let's see the overall length. I got to get used to the length. I don't have much room to work. But the overall length is coming in at just about 8 1/4. The overall blade length's coming in at a little over 3 1/2, but the cutting edge is coming in right at about 3 inches due to that large forward finger choil. Get you guys some blade stock thickness going on here. So the blade stock thickness on the Gerber Flatiron is coming in at 145 thousandths. It's going to be fairly large, but the behind the edge I expect to be fairly narrow due to that hollow grind that it's coming down to. And I was wrong. Let's see here. About 30 thousandths behind the edge, so it's not by any means your ultimate slicer. You know, that's all right. I mean, it's a Gerber, and, you know, for what it's doing right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, I'm not too mad at that. The overall thickness is coming in at a 0.43 or 430 thousandths. The cool thing about that is it doesn't feel that thin in hand due to the fact that you're dealing with a really wide handle. Now, coming in at 1.57 inches thick, that is approaching the territory at its maximum height of a Spyderco. Now, again, the cool thing about this is they did it right and they had confidence in this forward cutout here that you're not going to have too, if you were to add a flipper tab or something onto this, first of all, I don't think it's meant for a flipper tab the way it's designed, but it would also add a lot of thickness in the pocket, which it didn't. They didn't have to do that. So I think they did well there too. Let's see here. Here is your Ontario Wrap Model 2 and your Wrap Model 1. As you can see, this thing's just about the same length as your Wrap Model 1. It's almost as beefy. I mean, this thing's pretty much a little pocket tank. And your Wrap Model 1 is probably, some might call it a pocket tank as well, so therefore, there you go. All right, next up we have your Civivi sandwich. This is your Civivi Brazen and Drop Point. And your Civivi Elementum. As you can see, both of them are a little bit smaller than the Gerber Flatiron. The Civivi Elementum's coming in at much smaller. Next on the list, we have your Feldspar sandwich. Here is your regular size Feldspar. And we have your mini Feldspar. As you can see, once again, even the large size Feldspar is about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch shorter than the Gerber Flatiron. Last for your viewing pleasure, and I'm not sure what order these videos are going to go out, but I have something kind of special for you guys. Here is your Spyderco Little Native, much smaller than the Gerber Flatiron, and making its debut on my channel. This is your Spyderco PM2 Ultra. Not going to make it about the Ultra. I have a totally separate video on that. But as you can see, this is a regular PM2 with just a button lock, basically, some micarta scales and some titanium hardware. And it's coming in at just short, maybe about ½ an inch to ¼ inch shorter than the Gerber Flatiron. But the Flatiron is going to be much beefier in a lot other ways. So as a quick recap, and I didn't tell you guys the blade steel, I'll tell you guys that in a second, but as a quick recap, this is aluminum scales. This is what they call the sage green. Like I said, I've only seen it available at Walmart. Obviously the Flatiron's available in a lot of places. I just haven't seen the sage green aluminum available at other places. I could be wrong though. This is a stainless steel frame lock with an over travel stop here and a right hand tip up only carry pocket clip. We have a a cleaver style blade right here with a hollow grind that comes down here. The hollow grind is necessary because it's starting out at 145 thousandths thick for this blade stock, but it does come down to a 30 thousandths behind the edge. By no means an ultimate slicer, but we can argue about that all day. A lot of people aren't going to notice a difference as long as you do a pretty good sharpening job. We have a finger choil right here, and then we have, what was I going to tell you? No milling on the inside. We have some barrel spacers going on here and a stop pin. This is riding on phosphor bronze and Teflon. And to get to the blade steel, this is a 7CR17 MOV. What does that mean? That means it has 0.7 carbon, around 17 chromium, and the molybdenum has I think it's 1%, maybe a little bit less molybdenum, but it's supposed to have a 0.4% vanadium, but I've seen it in other places where it doesn't have any vanadium at all. So basically stating this is coming in at the approximate equivalent of a 440A type steel. Going to be relatively corrosion resistant with all that chromium, but not going to be necessarily your best edge retention beast, right? I mean, it's a 7CR. Anything below 8CR, you're kind of like, I mean, there's not even enough carbon to mix with all those chromium carbides, so this thing should be stainless as hell. I mean, they just threw a bunch of chromium in here. So what are my likes? First and foremost, the ergonomics in hand actually aren't bad. This feels pretty darn good, and I have no problems with that. I don't really like the upward finger choil here. It just feels weird. I don't feel like it's balanced. Maybe that's what it is. The balance feels off when you choke up. Because the ass end is so heavy, choking up just feels a little goofy. I do like this overbuilt style blade, or this cleaver. I keep calling it a blade. The overbuilt cleaver style blade. Focus is actually kind of cool because it's a blade shape that you feel like you're going to go chop down a tree with, right? Now you may have to sharpen your knife due to that 7CR17 MOV about 14 times before you get to the tree, but that's a totally different story. The action for being on phosphor bronze and Teflon actually feels pretty good, and it's probably a pseudo action due to the fact that this is a very large and heavy blade. This whole thing is really heavy. This frame lock is a little tight. I'm noticing, if you notice right here, it doesn't have your typical frame lock cut. Let me find another frame lock here. I don't think it goes down nearly as far. So if you take a look, this is your ZT0560. The frame starts here and goes all the way down here, allowing for a very loose frame. Not loose in the sense of bad, it's just easy and manipulative. This one doesn't come down quite far enough, and so it's really, really tight. Now, that's not an issue functionally, but for your fidget-friendly needs, it's not. It's going to eat you up. Plus, you got these really strong jimping pieces right here, and they're just cut in a way that kind of tear into your thumb. Again, that's complaining about the fidget factor, which isn't necessarily the function of the actual blade itself. The overall cost of this guy at the Walmart site for these aluminum scales is coming in at $30. The Blade HQ version is coming in at $32, and I don't really have any complaints about that price. I mean, the 7CR, you could be like, okay, you can go get a feldspar for $30, whatever, but you're kind of getting something from Gerber. Gerber's reaching out, and I'm not sure when this came out. I think this came out a year or two ago, and they're trying to keep up. Yes, this missed its mark, but I kind of appreciate where they're going with it. I mean, there's a lot of cool things to be taken out of this and maybe applied to another knife coming up. If you're interested in this knife, I don't know that I can recommend it just because of the value that you're getting. In my opinion, I would say go for something of the CJRB lines of a Crag or something like that. You get a big cleaver style blade, you get the bearings, you get the D2, you get a lot more bang for your buck. And for like 44 bucks, you can get that like black on black. I think it's 44 bucks, and it looks sick. And it even comes with the kicker with the recoil lock now, so it has something different, a little bit more fidget friendly. That's not to say that this is necessarily allergies are eating me alive. It's not to say that this is necessarily a bad knife, but you can do better for the price, in my opinion. It's cool though. It's a cool novelty. It's heavy, and if you want that heavy, just a beater style knife, I mean, you really can't. It's not a bad thing. So, anyways, this is the Gerber Flatiron. This is my new setup. If you guys have any feedback on the new setup itself, let me know. I'm going to show you guys what I did one day, and this thing is full of freaking duct tape, cardboard, and every super glue and epoxy. It's hilarious. And let's not forget the printer paper that's on the sides to reflect some of the light back in. But I think it does a much better job than my other setup. So kind of excited. Once again, give me some feedback on this. My name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means a lot. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, give me some feedback in the comments below and hit the thumbs down button. In case you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon, which will be listed right here. In that Patreon, we're giving bi-monthly giveaways to just the Patreons based on the number of Patreons that we have in the Patreon. We will also be giving discounts on all the knives that I sell based on the number of patrons. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great day.